I got things to do. I'm with me playing you. I'm with me playing you.
I am so happy. That session was the best it could have possibly been. So let's talk it through. So I went in with a really positive mindset. Like, I fully believed it was going to be a good session. And I genuinely, like, the entire drive there, I was really looking forward to it. I knew it was going to be a good day. I felt really good going into it. So I started off with squats, obviously. And I really wanted to get at least one single at 170 today. So I put my last warm-up up slightly higher. So I put it up by 5 kilos. So I started off at 155 as my last warm-up. It just flew. I mean, the 150s for me are light, but 155 flew faster than it normally does. Like, it was so comfortable. So I went straight to 170. I just committed to it, went straight to 170, kept my grip really nice and narrow on the bar. It felt so light on my back. Like, I was so glad I went to 170 because that first one especially just felt so good. Like, I knew as I walked out that there was zero doubt I'd get it. Like, I knew it was there. And it was really comfortable as well. Like, I'm a very grindy squatter. So, yeah, they were definitely quick for me. And then did it twice more. I had no doubt that I was going to get it after that first one, because it was more comfortable than the 165 has been, to be perfectly honest. Like, that's the best my squats have felt this entire prep for comp. So really happy with that. Back offs, my sixes at 140 didn't feel amazing, didn't feel terrible. They just sort of felt as they do. I'm happy enough with them. I could have pushed them heavier, but I didn't really need to, and didn't really want to because I had a long session ahead of me. So happy with those. And then my 2x10 I think are worth speaking about. So I went up to 120, and 120 for me for 2x10 is fine. It's starting to get to that point where I will start to struggle more. But my conditioning and stuff for 10s is so much better now that I knew it wouldn't be a problem. They were probably about an RP 6, maybe 7 at a push. But I think they could have been less because I didn't really have the right mindset going in. I did my first rep of my first set of 10, and I just wanted to quit. Like, I just wanted to stop. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, what's the point? Like, can I just not? And I really wanted to just walk it back in the rack and not bother. And being self-coached, one of the hardest things is the discipline side of it. Like, there's no one that will tell me off for skipping a set. Like, there's no one that will tell me, like, I've done anything wrong if I skip a set. So it's just taking that moment to remind myself, I've programmed these for a reason. And I remember that was my exact thought. I was like, these are in here for a reason. You need to do them. So I got them done. Didn't fully focus on them. Like, they weren't the best they could have been, but they weren't bad either. Like, they were fine. So yeah, 120 for 2x10 was absolutely fine. So all the squats were good. Bench was really surprising. So my last one up on bench is always 100, because I can gauge from 100 exactly what is there. And 100 is, apart from plus Saturday, 100 is always consistent for me. And 100 tells a lot more than what 95 would. So I always start at 100 as well. My last one was 100. And it didn't actually feel as good to me as I wanted it to. Like, it didn't feel fantastic. But my Pippa, who is going to be handling me at comp, she watched it and she said I should go 105. And I trust her calls. She's watched a lot of my training lately, like, I trust her. So I went up to 105. She did my commands for me. And I have a horrible habit with bench of jumping the press command if it feels heavy in my hands. And 105 felt very heavy in my hands. So as I unracked it, I made a point of saying to myself, you're not jumping the press command. Even if it means I fail the rep, I was not going to jump that command. So I set up, did the press on the command. It was very slow on the way up, but it moved consistently. It was fine. Didn't really have a sticking point. I don't think it did anyway. Yeah, it was fine. So really glad I got it, because it wasn't until after I had finished the set that I realised I didn't actually have anyone there to spot me if it went wrong. So, and I also had the safeties like right down, so they would have done nothing. I would have just been crushed. So very glad I got the 105 for multiple reasons, but mainly just as the confidence boost that I can hit 105 with commands on the day. Like, I'm really happy with that. And then back offs, my first set of 3 was with 100. Now, the last rep wasn't executed well enough, which is why I then went down to 97.5. But to just hit it for a set of 3, I'm really happy with. On a day where bench didn't feel as good as it sometimes does, like, it wasn't my best bench day and I still got 100 for a triple. So I'm really happy with that. I think bench is slowly starting to come back. I've just got to keep chipping away. And then I did the rest at 97.5. They were fine. Like, 97.5 for triples does feel like a routine now, so I'm really happy with that. And then my last one was just my last one. Like, that was light, that was easy. And then deadlifts. I'm really happy with deadlifts. I'll be honest, I might have tried to do 190 and failed it. I think I could have got it if I'd have fully committed, but it would have been ugly and not worth getting. Like, I would have been too fatigued to then get my back offs. So I got it to my shins and it was really easy at that point, but I knew I'd have too much form breakdown if I'd have grinded it through. And I didn't need to do that at this point. So I put it back down, drops down to 185 of my single, which again, my 185 was slow. Like, it was slow and it looks like a true max. But I was fine. It didn't tire me. Like, afterwards, I managed to then do 175 for a double, which 175 is my current comp max. And when I hit that back in August for the first time, it was a true max. So the fact that I'm now doubling it, very exciting. Yeah, 175 for the first double. It was slower than I wanted it to be. So then I went to 170 for the last 2. Yeah. And then just 2x5 at 145. I can't remember off the top of my head what I did. So yeah, deadlifts were really good. Like, to hit my comp max for a double is massive. Like, I'm not good at heavy sets of deadlift. Like, I'm really not. It's something I'm really working on. And it just feels like everything's clicking just in time. Like, I'm so happy, and I'm actually really excited now for comp. I'm going to start tapering off after today. So Tuesday session will be normal, and then it'll be fairly light. I'll probably stick to the same weights I did last week. And then next Saturday, I haven't fully decided what I'm going to do, and I'll probably talk you through it more in the next video, because that will be my 1 week out video, and my training will be a bit more boring because that will be taper week. But yeah, really happy. Absolutely no complaints from today's session. Like, it was really good. Only complaint is that I am absolutely exhausted because it's been a very long day. So looking forward to going to bed. Okay, let's talk through Tuesday's session. So I'll show you the clips, and then I will explain how it went from my point of view. Okay, so start off with squats, as always, 6 sets of 3, 150 kilos, so similar weight to what I've been using. Everything felt fine. Well, everything felt horrible, but everything moved fine. So, like, my lockout didn't feel as smooth. Like, I could definitely tell I'm fatigued, which is a really good sign at this point. Like, I'm still moving the same weights. My body is just tired. My body is ready to start tapering back, ready for comp. So I managed to hit the weights I needed, 6 sets of 3 at 150. By the end, they were slower, but they all moved fine. Like I said, the lockout felt a little bit more difficult on every rep compared to normal, but I got it. Everything was fine. So I'm really happy with the squats. Bench was definitely the highlight of the session though. So I did my last warm up at 100 and it did not move well. Decided to go 102.5 anyway, just because I didn't think I'd really notice much of a difference. It's only 2.5 kilos, it would be fine. And 102.5 flew, like actually flew. So I did 4 of my singles at 105 with commands every single time, and none of them felt like a max. Like, they got slower towards the end, but every single rep was fine. Like, if I'd have hit that in comp at that speed, I'd have gone at least 107, if not possibly 110. Like, it was absolutely brilliant. So really happy with bench. And then I just did my last and after 3x5, nothing mad there, just light, comfortable, got it done. And then pause deadlift. So that's the only thing that has started to change now. So as I get closer to comp, I usually deadlift once a week anyway, but I found pause deadlifts have had a really good carryover to my comp deadlifts, and I want to have both variations in this whole prep. So I've kept 2 days a week of deadlifts. Now, my competition deadlift is definitely a lot stronger from just 1 day a week, but the technique and the efficiency is a lot better with a pause deadlift day in. So that's why I've kept pause deadlifts in up until this point. Now, I only did 3 sets of 3 this week, and I went slightly heavier to 150 because it was the last session of me really pushing. So I did 3x3 at 150, which, to be honest, still moved about a 6, maybe 7, so it was still really comfortable. Next week, I'll probably just do 1 or 2 paused singles, maybe a pause set of 3. I haven't fully decided yet, but pause deadlifts now are pretty much going to be cut. Like, there'll be a little bit in there, and it'll be really light routine stuff. But yeah, so the work is essentially done. That session went really well. Everything moved really well. My body is definitely ready for a rest, but all of the work now is done. So the next day, I still had to do my bench only session. 5x5, 92.5, really routine, moved like a dream, nothing too heavy, but not light enough that it was just rushing through. Like, everything moved really well. Definitely noticing my leg drive is a lot more involved in my bench again, which is something I've been struggling with for a while since I got ill before Christmas. So I think bench is starting to come together, but every time I say that I jinx it and it goes terrible again. So we're just gonna wait and see what happens with that. But that is my 2 weeks out training done. That is the work done. Next week we just have taper week. I'm still going to film what I'm doing. I'm going to talk you through my decision on what I end up doing as well. I need to really sit down and think what I'm going to do with that. But yeah, if you've made it this far, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.
I got things to do.